Hello, a very good afternoon. So, in the last class, we already discussed about the lubrications. In that, we discussed about what is meant by friction and what are the types of frictions, wear, and type of weights. Briefly, we discussed, and also what is meant by lubrication, function of lubrications, and what are the additives used in the lubricants to improve the efficiency and type of lubricants, that is solid, liquid and semi-solid lubricants, and characteristics of grease also we discussed, and the applications method. Okay, so here we already discussed what is meant by lubricant and lubrication. So, which are the methods we use to apply the lubricants? That is what next we are going to discuss. That is categories of lubrication methods. The lubricating device or a method select must be economical, compatible with the equipments to be lubricated from a cost and maintenance point of view. It should be economical and also compatible. Then we select which type of lubrication system is suited for which device. Here some of the categories what we made a type of lubrication methods. Okay, so in that commonly you get a one question like this: explain a various method of supplying lubricating systems with a neat sketch. Okay, so here here some of the few types of or methods of lubrication system. First one is and oiling. The first type of method is and oiling. Oil is generally applied periodically. If the grease is used as a lubricant, it may be supplied to the bearing by forcing it from the compression grease cup or by means of pressure gun. So this you already seen by oiling of some of the automobile parts, okay, or you can oiling the notches, or you can oiling the tailoring machines. In that you observe that by manually we are going to apply the grease in between the two meeting surfaces just to reduce the friction. So it is a some common example of iron oiling, that is by using the uh, pressurized gun. By using the pressurized gun we apply the grease. So it's the first type. Generally, these types of provided only a thin film lubrication or a boundary lubrication. The what is meant by boundary lubrication or thick or thin, that we will discuss in the next class. Here, the coefficient of friction is rather than high and uncertain. These lubrication can be used for bearing having a relatively light operating conditions. That is most important. Only a light loading conditions we can use this and type of lubrication system. Okay. And the next one is wick feed or drop feed oilers. These oilers may be considered as a system in which the lubricating is supplied more or less continuously, but not sufficient quantity for the fluid film lubrication. They also can be used for bearing having relatively light operating conditions. It is also used for light operating conditions. The continuous supply of liquid lubricant is one of the conditions necessary to ensure fluid film lubrication. Such as supply may be obtained by means of ring or a chain or a collar, or oiling, as well as by splash lubrication. Both lubrications are by feeding or bearing under pressure. That's why it is called wick feed or drop feed oilers. So next type of lubrication method is ring, chain or collar oilers. These may be used when the journal means shaft as a horizontal position, when it is in the horizontal, not in the vertical, when it is in the horizontal position. In this type of bearing, the ring or a chain slipped over the shaft and runs over the journal. It draws oil from the oil reservoir in which it is immersed and carries a flood of oil to the top of the journal, where it is able to flow into the bearing oil grooves and bearing clearance space to be distributed to the entire bearing surface. Means it will distribute the oil into the entire surface of the journal. Due to this, reliability and also reduce the friction between the two mating surfaces. In the collar oiler, in which the collar is connected rigidly to the journal. The collar is rigidly connected to the journal, operates on a similar principle. Thus, the disadvantage of this collar is that it is divide the bearing into two parts, making the bearing equivalent to the two short bearings. Means the main drawback of this type of lubrication is it will divide the bearing into two parts, two short bearings. So next type of lubrication is splash lubrication. In this, the system of machine member having a rotating motion such as gears, a, or a member having a more complicated motion like connecting rod, cup, run in an oil reservoir and throw oil through the enclosed casing. The oil runs into the oil chamber and duct which lead to the oil to the bearings, and this we can explain in the diagram. Yes, I will show the diagram. This is for the uh, diagram of typical diagram of splash system or splash lubrication. Here, this is for the oil pump which pump the oil into the reservoir, and splash pan. Here, this is a splash point. It's an oil scoop or dipper. Okay, so this is what the connecting shaft or bearing, and these are the components. And by rotating this and these components, the main bearing and connecting rod bearings, so these will splash this oil. Okay, oil, and this, and the system is able to provide a continuous supply, and this will provide the continuous supply of oil into the system. And the next type of lubrication is called feeding under pressure. Yes, we will feed the lubricant under some pressure. This system of lubrication is also called as a forced feed system. It is able to provide the adequate supply of liquid lubricant into the bearing clearance, a clearance space, and the prevents a suction of air into the region of low pressure. In bearing, operating with a fluid a lubrication, and this bearing is operating under a fluid lubricant or lubrication. So feeding pressure is also increased considerably the flow of lubricant through the bearing. It is also similar like a previous one, but here it will clearly splash the oil, so that because of the splashing, the oil will because of this pressure as well as splashing, the oil will flow into the components like journal and bearing surface. Here, considerable position of heat generated on the bearing. Of course, heat is generated because of the continuous operating can be carried out by lubricant. Means by using this, we can carry out the heat. So this is suitable where the bearing operating with a high speed and with considerable load. Means where the high speed is there and also more load, you can consider this. So these are the some different types of lubricating systems or methods. One is a iron oiling, wick feed or drop feed, oilers, ring or a chain called oilers, splash lubrication or feeding under pressure. Okay, next important concept is lubricant characteristics. Means what are the properties which having the lubricant? Before selecting the any lubricant for the particular purpose, we have to see their properties, their characteristics. Based on the characteristics, we can select the particular lubricant for particular operations or methods. Lubricant is a substance, we already know that. It is introduced between the two mating surfaces to reduce the frictional force and carried out the heat generated between the two mating surface. The first property is viscosity. Viscosity should not change with the rise in the temperature. That is the first important quality of a lubricant. Lubricant should not change its property by changing the temperature. Means if the viscosity change with the temperature, it will affect the lubrication process. So it should not change. It must be a suitable viscosity that maintained throughout the operation. That is the first quality. Second, oiliness. Yes. The second important property is oiliness. So oiliness, it is comes in the a thin boundary lubrication. The lubricant should have enough oiliness so that it will avoid the metal to metal contact. It ensures the adherence to the bearing and spread over the surface. This makes oil smooth and very important in the thin or boundary lubrication. That's the second important property. So next important property is strength. The strength of the lubricant should have high strength to avoid the metal to metal contact or seizing under heavy load. If it is a low strength, it will seize under the heavy load. And also it is having a capability to avoid the metal to metal contact along with the external load. So it should have high strength. Chemical stability. It should not react with the surface and made any depositions. Means it should not react with either any two metal surface or any foreign particles. It should be stable, chemically stable, and should not made any deposit on the two meeting surfaces, so that it may leads to the friction or a wear. Next, pour point. Uh, should have a low pour point to allow smooth flow. If it is having a high pour point, it may disturb the flow. So that it should be having a low pour point so that it allows the smooth flow. Next, flash and fire point. A very high, it should be having a high flash and fire point, because if it is a low, it may catch the fire. If it is a low flash and fire point, it may catch the fire. So to avoid that one, we should be having a high flash and fire point, because when the two mating surfaces, it is introduced between the two mating surfaces. Because of the friction, the temperature may high. If the temperature is equal to flash and fire point, it may catch the fire. So to avoid that one, always a good refrigerant should have, good lubricant should have high fire and flash point. The next property is neutralization. A neutralization means it should not form any deposits by reacting oil, water, fuel or any other. It should be neutral. The lubricant should be neutral with respect to the surface, with respect to the water, with respect to the moisture, or with respect to any foreign contaminants. So next point is cleaning. Should act as cleaning agent, means it should carry the heat, along with that it also carries the foreign particles or contaminants which are present between the two meeting surfaces. It should carry out those particles from the operating zone to outside. So next property is non-toxic, means if it is a toxic, it may affects the a person who is operating. So it should be a non-toxic. It should not produce any toxic gases. It may harmful. So it should be a non-toxic. Next, the last important property is based on the cost. That is what it should be economical. It should be low cost. Then only we can easily use. If it is a high cost, we cannot use. If we use also, the process may become very costly. So that it should be economical. So these are the some important properties. First one is a suitable viscosity, oiliness, strength, chemical stability, pour point, flash point, neutralization, cleaning, non-toxic, economical. And the next topic in that, a grades of oil. We already know that SAE, ISO, ASTM. So these are the some different grades of oil. Means the oils is measured in terms of grades. SAE 10, one particular oil is measured SAE 10. So next another particular means that oil is having different properties when compared to the previous one. SAE 10 is different, SAE 20 is different. Like this, SAE 30, 40, 50, like this. SAE means Society of Automotive Engineering. I developed a scale for both engineering and transmission oils. This is used for both engineering and transmission oils, hot and cold, and other natures. Okay, so it's a one type of grade. The oil is measured in grade. First grade is SAE, a Society of Automotive Engineering. That SAE 10, okay, one particular oil. SAE 20, it's a second particular, means second grade. SAE 30, it's likewise different. Next, another grade system is ISO, International Standards of Organization. Okay, so it is also another type of grading the oil. And next, ASTM, American Society for Testing the Materials. Here also ASTM oils, different types of oils grade the system. Next, the selection of lubricant and the type. Based on what we have to select the lubricant. Of course, one thing is properties. Based on the characteristics or properties, we have to select the lubricant. Along with that, some other factors which influencing the selection of lubricant. In that, there are two important factors are load and speed. A load and speed, which affects the selection of lubricants, environmental and scaling requirements. And also, we used one formula, that is T proportional to mu F V divided by A K, where mu, we already know that viscosity, T is the operating temperature, F is a normal force, V is a velocity, A area of fluid film, and K means a thermal conductivity. Okay, this equation will give the relation between the temperature and the viscosity along with other factors. Here we can see this picture. Here there are solid lubricants, next grease, high viscosity oil, low viscosity oil, and gas, which decides the viscosity. First, solid lubricant having a very high viscosity cannot flow. Next, grease is having a somewhat viscosity. Next, high viscosity, high viscosities. Then low viscosity, very less, and gas is having a very low viscosity. It can easily flow. Based on the flow, we selected first the solid lubricant. It is impossible to flow. Next, grease, somewhat okay. High viscosity, it can flow, and low viscosity, it can easily flow. Gas, of course, we know that having a very less viscosity, it can easily flow. Okay, this is what the chart, and this chart is directly proportional to the operating speed and load. If the load is more, if the load is more, if load increases, we have to increase the viscosity. We have to increase the viscosity. If load increases, we have to increase the viscosity. It means we have to select the more viscous fluid. Because load is high, we have to select the more viscous lubricant. Here, operating speed. If the operating speed is increases, if operating speed is increases, we have to select the less viscous fluid or lubricant. If the speed is less, we have to select the less viscosity oil. If the load is more, we have to use the more viscosity oil. Because more load means there is a more direct contact between the two surfaces. To avoid that one, we have to need a more viscosity oil. We have to need a more viscosity oil. But operating speed high means if it is a more viscous, it may induces a friction, internal friction. So in that situation, we have to use a less viscous oil because speed is high. So it will that speed will in turn generate the pressure. The pressure may avoids the metal to metal contact. So based on this criteria, we have to select the lubricants or lubricating systems. Okay. Hello.